What is going on, people? Today, what I want to do by being a part of our group, following our YouTube page, all of that fun stuff, we always want to kind of share some of the things that we're doing in our business that are kind of separating us from the competition, things that are just a little bit unique because as we know, the market's crazy competitive. Here in San Diego, we have like 36,000 agents and there's like 36,000 transactions happening a year. It's pretty insane right now. And so, when you're in competitive markets like we are, we're constantly looking for ways to differentiate ourselves from the competition, figure out, what can we do that other people aren't doing? Because you're going into a lot of times these listing appointments, you're competing against 2, 3, 4, 5. I recently competed against like 10 people for a single listing. And when that stuff happens, it's about what are you doing differently? Like, what are you doing that everybody else isn't doing? Because at the end of the day, we're all taking professional pictures these days. We're all putting it on the MLS. We're all running social ads. Like, we're all doing all of that stuff. But like, what are you doing to differentiate yourself? Because that's ultimately what's going to make the difference between you and the competition. Because at the end of the day, when somebody meets with 5 agents, at the end of it, all 5 of us do the same damn thing. So more often than not, somebody's going to end up choosing the agent that they connected with the best, or that was able to separate themselves from the competition, because the marketing is all very, very similar these days. So the question is, what are you doing to differentiate yourself? And so what I want to do today, this is going to be kind of fun because I want to share what we've been doing. And then Charles, who's joining us today, is going to share a whole bunch more that we could probably be doing because I didn't even realize half of the stuff that is available to us. So what I want to share with you guys, we've been working with them, Charles, probably a year or two now that we.
Yeah, I think a year or two or something like that.
We've been working. So I've heard of friends who've made books. My buddy Dan Beer here in San Diego made a book, and he talked to me about the process of writing a book and the cost of writing a book. And it was insane. Like the amount of hours that he had to put into it and the amount of money that he had to spend to have somebody actually write the book for him. And then the minimum quantity of like books that he had to order. I think he has a storage unit just to store all these books that he was forced to order because that was part of the program. And it sounded like a horror story when he told me about it. And I was like, dude, I don't want to deal with all that. That sounds like a complete nightmare. And so I started doing some research and I came across Charles and Authorify. And at the end of the day, what these guys helped us do, we have this pretty sweet little book here, Sell Your Home for More Money. This is a little book they helped us develop. Nice. What is this thing? It's 100 and something pages, right?
Yeah,
it's
like actually a little longer. It's like 130 pages or something like that.
Yeah, it's a pretty sweet book.
You don't have to get 1,000 of them. You don't have to fill a storage unit to get.
And it's cool. I mean, this thing is all branded to us. We put our imagery on there. So we put an area where we sell a lot of our homes so that when somebody sees this book, it connects. I went with something that wasn't as heavily branded on the front just because I have a big team and I wanted a book that my whole team could use. So it's got us on it, but it's not all about Kyle because a lot of the times people are meeting with my team members and I wanted them to have a book that they could use. But you could have something that's much more heavily branded where, if you're a solo agent, you're the one who's going out on all the appointments, you could brand the book much heavier towards you specifically like that. Yeah.
You got the same one, I think. I think you got the same one. This one's got Mary Thomas on the front of it.
Yeah. And so this book is sweet. Like this, you open it up, it's got some of the reviews and stuff about us in here. In the back, it's got a little bit like an about us section. And then in the middle, there's tons and tons of amazing content in here that I didn't have to write. I didn't have to spend like a ton of time working with a copywriter or ghostwriter or coming up with all this content. These guys came up with a lot of the content. So what it allowed us to do is take some killer content and essentially white label it and wrap it with our brand and a little bit of information about who we are and what makes us unique. And now we have this killer book that we're using to separate ourselves from our competition. So a couple of the ways we're using it, and I know Charles is probably going to drop some knowledge on some other ways that we could be using it, but the number one way that we use this book is that when we have a listing appointment with a seller, pre-listing packages, if you don't have a pre-listing package right now, that's probably one of the biggest reasons you're losing listing appointments. Like you've got to have
we give out to our members now is a pre-listing package, all the templates they can use and send out with it. So it's really, really effective. And it's all in there already, so you don't have to build it yourself.
Yeah, so you got to have a pre-listing package, because when somebody does set up appointments with 2, 3, 4, 5 agents, the majority of agents do not have a pre-listing package. If you're the one who has something, whether you overnight it to them or you just have, an assistant or a courier hand deliver it to them, the day before your appointment, and they get in, they're like, holy shit, this guy we're meeting with wrote a book about selling our house. That's pretty amazing. It's something that totally sets you apart, because now when you walk into that listing appointment the next day and you're like, hey, did you guys get a copy of my book? That thing is sitting on the coffee table. It's sitting on the dining room table. They got the book, right? And what does that do, right? Right from the initial jump, it automatically is whoa, this guy's different, right? Because nobody else sent him that. Everybody else is walking in there cold, and they've got to try to win this seller over. Where you gave them this, you're walking in there warm, because you've already shown them that you're different than everybody else. So that's one way that we're using these with our pre-listing. And then another thing that we're doing is when we do take a listing in a neighborhood, we'll go and find all the listings in that area that had expired or canceled in our areas where the agent got fired. We'll go and find all of those listings, and then we'll go drop packets at all of those doors. And we'll drop them with a little letter that says, hey, we recently listed the home around the corner from you at 123 Main Street. Saw you had your home on the market, a year ago, 2 years ago, whatever the case is. The market's been on fire then. Here's a little book we wrote about selling your home for top dollar. If you're still interested in selling, give us a call. And then follow that up with calls, with text, with emails, with retargeting, a bunch of other stuff that you can do with it. So that's just a little bit of what we're doing. But Charles, dude, I want to learn more. Teach me more about what I do
more. All right. Yeah. Well, that's one of the best ways to use the book, because I know you don't want to put your face on it. You got a big team, but for a lot of agents, they can put their face on the cover, and it creates so much trust. When somebody has your book in their house and they're looking at your face on the coffee table, and then, and it speaks directly to the problems and questions they're dealing with. How do I get the most money for my home? How do I make sure I'm protected in this transaction, and so on. So it's a really effective tool to utilize. But on top of it, I don't know because you've been around for a while, we've added some new features. So we put together some other stuff. This is our lead capture site. Trying to show it on the iPad.
Yeah, I'm gonna make you full screen. I'm still here, don't worry.
Yeah. So this is our lead capture sites, and we've put together training that you can use to run on Facebook ads. This is an agent here in Jacksonville named Yasha, and she really loves our stuff. So she runs these Facebook ads, and she uses the book to generate the leads. And we not only give her the landing page and we've got lead capture sites for everything. We also give her the training. So inside of our membership site, we give you the training and everything you need. We give you the templates and the step-by-step videos showing you how to actually use it. Because it's one thing to have a great tool, but if you don't know how to use it, it's not so it's not great. So we don't just give you the tool, we give you the training and videos and the support that you actually use it to result, generate the leads. So that's two things that I don't know if they're using right now because we're newer features, but they're super effective. And there's a whole bunch of different courses in the training. This is another one. I don't know if I have this book, but this is our divorce. We call it our divorce listing strategy. And it's a really cool way that when people get a divorce and they have a big house, they've got to split their house in half. They've got to sell a home. So we actually develop a book. I don't know where the first book might be behind me, but yeah, the divorce book it helps them through the divorce process. So it helps, they can't hire their friends and family. They got to hire somebody outside. The wife's not going to trust the husband's friends. And the husband's not going to trust the wife. They got to get a new agent. So you can use your divorce book and send this out to people that are going through a divorce. You can't just send it out to people because obviously it's a way to do it. And inside of the training, we give you the templates. We tell you how to work with people. For example, this guy, Ed, I believe he's in Florida. He utilized this and he partnered up with an attorney. So he took his divorce, went met with divorce attorneys. He showed them, hey, I have a book that's going to help you sell your home in a divorce. Divorce attorneys, they're dealing with clients all the time that need to sell. And when they realized this guy had a book, like this guy knows what he's talking about, help our clients. And got last time we talked to him, he got 10 referral deals from divorce attorneys and listed 10 homes. And he said another 10, 12 or something ended up buying a second house. Uh, they big house and they got a downside and they added another home. So those are just like some of the things we're working on, developing these like systems and templates and processes that you can use to get listed.
And then I know there's like a FSBO book, there's an expired book, like there's literally specific books. So there's that saying, the riches are in the niches, although it should be niches, but it sounds better. The riches are in the niches. Yeah. So if you're going out there after, like you mentioned, divorce, like, right.
The divorce. This is our tax lien book. People that are behind on their property taxes, and they've got to sell. So this is a really good niche that you can actually tap into. This is another one, inherited homes. So there's actually a lot of inherited homes in the country. So my brother, Ben, he's the guy that like digs into these ideas and then finds out how to actually make it happen. And he's been telling me like, man, this inherited niche is gold. Like people don't even know about it. But when people inherit a home, they almost always sell it. And it's an easier sale because they haven't been making those payments for all these years. So they're not so concerned about getting every penny of equity out of it. So the inherited niche is a really, really good niche. So we developed a book for it and a process to find the leads and contact them, follow up with them, meet with them, how to find the decision maker in the group and how to close the deal. We got a buyer book as well. And then this is our book, Selling the Unsellable Home. So for expireds, if you deal with expireds that are frustrated, we have a book for that too. But we've put together so many different types of books on a lot of different things. And the idea was, there's so many people that have books. Like every big, broker agent, you got the Altman book, you got the Frederick Eklund book, got the Ryan Serhant book. All of these guys wrote books because it's such a great way to instantly. If you give somebody a business card, you got a business card. But you give someone a book, since a child, we're raised to know that's where you're valuable. You're intrinsically valuable. We're grown up, we're raised reading books, learning from books. So when you give someone a book and it's got your name and your face on it, it's such a powerful tool because it instantly presents you as an authority. It instantly shows that you're credible and they can trust you. So we've worked with a lot of agents, and like for example, this agent, she said she was competing with a big #1 top agent for a listing, and they listed with her instead. And she's not a huge, big deal agent, just a person, and they listed with her because her book made her so credible. It's a really good way for agents that maybe aren't, hotshot agents who present themselves and present themselves worthy and credible, and they just give out shows that they know how to do the home.
That's awesome, man. And so I know I told you if you guys are coming on here, you got to offer something to our people.
Of course. So we put together, we love Kyle. So we put together a great offer for Kyle's peeps. So the offer we're doing today is that you can get your first 10 books for free. And this costs us like over $200 because we got to customize it. We got to put your face on it. We've got to, tweak the pages and everything and print these things and mail them to you. And we're going to give this to all of Kyle's people today for free. We just ask that you pay the $7 shipping and handling charge. So when you're ready to get some books, you go to authorify.com/Kyle. And you can claim this offer, and it's a hefty chunk of books right there. So it's pretty cool. On top of that, though, you also get access to all the training. Like I said, you get access to the training site. You get access to the lead capture site that you can run. You can put out on Facebook. You can put all over the place to generate leads. And if I can get it, you get access to the digital book. So the digital book is really cool because before you meet with people, you can text this out to people. You can send them a link to it instantly. You can send it on your phone. Try to get that lens flare off right there. And it looks great. You can pull it up and check it out. So you get a digital book, you get the lead capture site, you get the training, and 10 printed books mailed out to you. So yeah, you just go to authorify.com/Kyle, and you can claim your books. Tell us where can we mail your box.
Yeah, dude, I'm stoked to I know we're working with you guys to get a buyer book now, right? I think one of the things that in this market is so crazy right now because buyers are getting their ass kicked left and right. And a lot of times they blame it on the agent and they just want to be like, all right, well, you didn't get me something. I'm going to go work with that person or that person. But when you sit down, for that first meeting, especially like right now with Zillow, right? Like we're killing it with Zillow leads. But one of the things that Zillow's pushing, which is working, is don't like fully pre-approve somebody, pre-qualify them. Just set the appointment, find out what areas they're looking, why they want to move, and go show. So you're showing up to this first appointment. There's not like a big consultation that's been done. Right. There's not a whole lot that's gone into it before you meet with somebody. The last thing you want to do is just be a door bitch and just open a door and then they're done with you and they move on to the next person who opens the door. Like you don't want to be that person. You want to find a way to make yourself more sticky to them to where that's just the first of many doors you're going to open for them. And ultimately the goal is to open the door and hand them the keys to their new home. So if you go and meet somebody for the first time, like what are you doing to make yourself sticky other than opening the door and handing them like an MLS printout? What if you meet with them and then hand them this book about, tips for buying a home? Like you're going to make yourself different than everybody else out there. So I know we have that buyer book on order. So I'm stoked to get that one. I think that's going to be really cool.
Defining your home of your dreams. And this, I think, definitely is going to make you stickier than the average agent because you give this to them and it's full of helpful information. They're going to keep reading it. And it creates, when you spend time with somebody, you automatically build more trust and you bond with them more. So when they have your book sitting in their car on their coffee table or something, you're bonding with them. You're building. They're seeing your face more, and they're just thinking about you more. And then when they're reading it, they're thinking about you more. They're getting all these epiphany moments. They're like, oh yeah, I should do that. I could do that and make my home more valuable. Or I should do this thing. And they're having that aha moment and they're associating it with you. So I feel it makes you a lot more sticky.
Cool, man. Well, before we wrap up, Rich wants to know, do we get to brand the 10 free books?
Yes. Rich, we will brand it. We will put your name, Rich Brecklin, right here on the front. Whether you want your picture on the front or not, there's a lot of different cover options and you can do whatever you want with it. You can put your cover on the front, your picture on the front if you want to. And today's offer, you get the seller book and the buyer book. So you're going to get the access to the seller book and the buyer book. So whichever one you want, you can go ahead and get. So I think on the page, it's going to show the seller book and that's the default one we print and mail. But if you want, you can contact us and tell us, hey, I'd rather you guys print me some buyer books or something like that. It's up to you. But we're easy to talk to, and we set up a setup call for everybody so that we can, we want people to talk to real people and answer the questions and get them set up so they can actually use the product and get results with it.
That's awesome, dude. And Rich said, thanks, fellas. Coachy, Brian's our marketing manager. He wants cat pictures. If somebody wants cat picture, I've seen realtors who like on their sign, they're posed with like their dog, or I've seen people with like their horse. Hey, if Brian wants to be on
there. Brilliant. I like that.
Right? Whatever works for him. All right, cool, man. Well, dude, I appreciate you joining us. This is cool. Hopefully, if you guys are watching this, like this is free, or it's going to cost you $7. Like at least try it, right? Like see what happens when you get these and you go on that first listing appointment and you have that book get to them the day before the appointment. Like it's a game changer. It'll totally separate you from the competition. So just hit it up, authorify.com/Kyle. Charles, dude, I appreciate it, man.
Of course. Thanks for having me on today.